Hello again, welcome back to Fendt Farm. I am Jim Bob, and as you can see, we have started the harvest. Currently working our way through our soybean crop. We have skipped forward a little bit. I did do a little bit of filming to show the continuation of where we left off in the previous episode through to getting this harvest started, but unfortunately the footage got corrupted, so I wasn't able to actually turn that into an episode. But nevertheless, we shall persevere and we'll continue with our harvest. So we're here on fields 7 and 8 at the moment. We'll be hitting the 4, 5, 6 fields straight afterwards, and the plan is to try and sell some of these soybeans just to raise a bit of cash, but hopefully not the whole lot. We have canola on fields 2 and 3 as well, so we'll check out the prices and see which is going to be the best for us to actually sell. I do want to try and stockpile a little bit of crop if possible. Also been reading through some of the comments that have been left on the series so far. There's a great little comment suggesting that I try as far as the bales that we were doing in the previous episode, where I was shredding those and then picking up the remains and with the loading wagon and putting them into the hay barn. Someone suggested to just try shredding the bales directly at the hay barn and see if that would actually pick them up. So I'm going to give that a try and see if that does actually work. It wasn't something I even thought about, to be honest. So the channel's been doing quite well recently. We've been picking up subscribers. We've been getting some really good viewing figures on some of our series. No Man's Sky unfortunately isn't performing as well as I would hoped. The interest in that does seem to be a little low and a little erratic. Some episodes seem to do quite well, some seem to not draw many views at all. But we're going to persevere with that for a little while longer. See as the next couple of episodes go live, things will hopefully get a little bit more exciting. And Prison Architect has just gone live on the channel as well. Got the first episode up there and live. The second episode should be going live around about the same time as this video, hopefully. I hope you guys do check out that series. It's a fun little game. It's something a little bit different, a little bit of a strategy builder, almost a SimCity style kind of game in some respects, but obviously very focused on building and running a prison. And something else I added to the channel was initially just as a one-off, and I will post the odd bit of footage here and there as well. Absolute Drift Zen Edition. Picked that up on the network during the Easter sale. It's an interesting little game. It's a fun little game. I love the art style. It's almost, with the way it's laid out, it's very minimalist, and the colour choices, it kind of reminds me a bit of Mirror's Edge. It has that same sort of very clean, clinical kind of look to it in terms of the colour choices and the way it's been laid out. Very simplistic, yet very well done. And it's a game that's going to be a little bit tough for me to master. I need to get out of the mindset of trying to do it as a race and more as a drift. It's kind of a hard thing to sort of switch your mindset to when you're not really used to doing drifting, to break away from the concept that speed doesn't matter. It's not important. It's all about car control and keeping that drift running as long as you can to really maximise your performance. And I'm used to a very different style. You naturally see a game with cars in, you consider it as a racing game, and you're all about how I can maximise my speed around a circuit. And this is a very different experience. It's all about maximising your control and your movement, and speed is almost completely irrelevant in that respect. So let's put this headland in here while we carry on working on this field. As I'm recording this is Monday 17th. We still don't have the Big Bud updated map for American Outback. It is still stuck in testing. I don't think anything has been done over the weekend. I mean, it's obviously Easter weekend. I don't think anything's been done today either. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that will actually go live tomorrow. It'll have spent a week in testing by this point, so fingers crossed. American Outback update will go live. I can get started on that. I'll have to adjust my plans for what I was going to do. I think we're going to turn that into a medium playlist now, a medium playthrough rather than a hard playthrough, simply because we've lost so much time from when the map initially went live to where we are now. Big Bud itself, the DLC, is only a couple of weeks away now. We're talking, 3 weeks tomorrow? So it's really limited how much progress we can make on that map before that DLC comes out. So to kind of maximise our earnings in the small period of time we're going to have before the DLC comes out, we're going to have to approach things slightly differently. So I will endeavour to work really hard on that, and I may have to do a little bit of off-camera work in the recordings as well to try and get a little bit of money, so that when the DLC drops we can at least bring in 1 or 2 pieces of equipment quite quickly, rather than spending the next month just trying to earn enough money to actually be able to buy 1 or 2 pieces. We'll hopefully be able to go with 1 or 2 pieces of that DLC straight away. It'll be, I think, a little while before we actually get a Big Bud itself on the farm, although I may hire one for an episode or 2, just so we can actually try one out on the map and see it in action. It all depends on how quickly the the update goes live, and how much work I can get done in a short space of time. I think what we might do as well is we might do some forestry on Outback as well, just to try and raise a bit of extra cash, so that while we're waiting for crops to grow, we can cut down trees and sell some lumber, and maybe some wood chips as well. We'll look at different options and see what's going to be the best way out there to actually make some money in a short space of time. I don't really want to go down the silage route, at least not initially, because it's a slow process, and it doesn't really make that much money. This map is the exception, but silage in general on Farming Sim is very much a different entity this time around. It's a lot harder to make large amounts of money. You have to really fill an entire bunker, spend a long time gathering your materials to fill it, and then compact it all down, and then at the end of it you make hardly any money in comparison to what you used to make. And I've said before, it's a great thing that the economy isn't dominated by silage, but it is going to leave us... Oop, wasn't paying attention. It is going to leave us in that situation where we are going to need to raise funds really quickly. And silage won't really be an available option to us. So we'll see what happens. As I say, it's all dependent on when that actually goes live. I'm hoping that by the time you see this episode, the map update will have gone live and I will have at least recorded the first few episodes, but I guess time will tell on that. Space for maybe... Yeah, we've got space for another full combine yet. I'm sure we need to go in empty. So that might be, if not the entire field, it'll be a good chunk of this field. Trying to keep the costs down a little bit, doing the harvesting myself rather than hiring a worker to do it for me. I do want to try and get a little bit more involved in some of the aspects on this map. It is a small map. There's no reason why we should just be palming everything off to workers, you know. So I am going to try and, you know, be more active on this map than I have been in some situations. It all depends on what I'm trying to do. If I've got, you know, lots of jobs stacking up that I want to get done nice and quickly, I don't want to kind of draw out footage on this just for the sake of creating footage. I want there to be real progress on the map, so there will be times when we will hire workers. I mean, I'm going to hire one to fertilise these two fields while we start work on those two in the background there, the two canola fields. We'll get a worker to fertilise these two fields. And then I think what I'll also do is when these fields come up for ploughing again, which will be after the next harvest, after the next, you know, rotation of crops, we'll actually link these two fields here together, you know, with this 4, 5, 6 block with 7 and 8. We'll link them all together, make them one big field. And then this field will become our money crop field, and then you know, we can look at the other two fields there as utility fields. So we could do say soybeans or canola on this field as the big cash crop, and then the other two fields we could split with having wheat on one, barley on the other, for example. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, the plan going forward after the next round of harvesting will be to link these two fields together so that we have that extra little bit of space, and we'll push it out that way a little bit as well if we can. We'll really try and maximise the space we have available to us here. I would love to be able to actually competently harvest in here without missing bits. It is something I find quite tough to do. You know, more often than not I will end up drifting like that. There we go. I've started drifting already without even realising it. You just end up missing bits, and I don't like doing that. I really don't. It just looks scruffy and untidy, and it's very hard to judge. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm doing it again. It's very hard to actually judge your position when you're in the cab without some kind of GPS marking. You don't really know when you're going offline until it's too late. hopefully there'll be a way for someone to implement a really stripped down version of GPS. It doesn't need to be, you know, the full bells and whistles PC version, just a very basic function that just gives you a, you know, a guidance line to follow. There must be a really easy way of doing that. Something that could be implemented on console. There has to be. It can't be that complicated to do something that would be an acceptable kind of scripting. Or maybe Giants will work on something for us. Fingers crossed. I'd like to hope it will happen. You know, my heart hopes for it, my head says it's never going to happen. We'll see. I mean, we were never supposed to get ground response and crop destruction and all that, but, you know, they came. So, you can't completely rule it out, but, you know, if the sensible money is on it, it isn't going to happen. Who knows? We may be more likely to get something like chopped straw than GPS. There's a much easier scripting that can be implemented. The only issue is perhaps the graphical strain it might put on. You know, with all that chopped straw on a field, it might cause severe, you know, lag when you're driving on a field and it's covered in chopped straw. So we're about 2/3 full on this combine now. So yeah, we're 3 weeks away from Big Bud. Are you excited? I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. I have it already paid for by way of owning the season pass. So come midnight I will be downloading that on the store on the morning of the 9th. I'll be you know, searching for it the second it turns past midnight until I can get my hands on it and start downloading it, get it installed. I'm going to play about with it on a test farm and put it through some paces on some large fields, and then give you a review as quickly as I can. You know, and it'll be a review of how it, you know, not just how it looks, and you know, just a breakdown of what we actually get, but also, you know, looking at how some of it actually performs, and trying to work out if we really do get our money's worth. I mean, on paper, this looks to be a really, really good value pack. You know, for a console user at the very least, it looks to be a really, really good value pack. We're going to get equipment that is really large, way bigger than anything we've had before, either in-game or as a mod, and it'll be interesting to see if it all works, if there's any glitches or bugs, you know, that are out there at the moment. When we do still have a couple of bugs with the Coon DLC, as we know. There's the spreader that we have on this map that doesn't fill up with seed pellets, which is or fertilizer pellets, which is annoying, but you know, it is what it is. It still functions perfectly well, it just has that visual glitch. Then we have the Metro sprayer, the tow behind sprayer, which has care wheels fitted but still destroys your crop, so it's not been coded properly for crop destruction. And it also it also has a maintenance cost that's 10 times higher than it should be. So instead of charging us $200 a day, it charges us $2,000 a day. So hopefully those issues will get resolved with a patch. Let's get a worker on this while we grab our Fendt to unload here. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get an update patch. I would imagine there'll be some kind of update patch with the DLC going live. They may need to update things a little bit to implement that DLC. I believe there was an update patch for the Coon DLC, so there should be one for the Big Bud as well. and hopefully that patch will fix those issues with the Kuhn DLC. So we have to be just about full. Why is he stopped? Oh, he's not going to go to the end, is he? No, he's not. Okay, that's a problem. So let's back up. We'll cut a headland here, and then we'll send them off to finish off the field while we go and unload. We haven't got a lot left. It's a shame that we're going to have to bring the trailer back just to take it back for a couple of thousand. But unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about that. There we go, so he's off and running again. And now we'll go and unload here. So yeah, you can see we've definitely got scope to extend the bottom of that field to match up. You know, if we cut away the path in the middle and link those two fields together, that'll be fine. Oh, don't tell you, we're wedged on something. Yeah, we're wedged. Let me drop the trailer. Still wedged. Alright, which Fendt is this? It's the 800. Okay, so we're going to have to reset the 800. Now we'll go and grab that trailer and drop it in the silos. There we go. So we've not ended up with as much crop as I was hoping we were going to get off those two fields. I was hoping for a bit more than around 30-odd thousand litres, but we can only harvest what we have. Price isn't the best at the moment anyway, so it's certainly not going to be sold. But the price of canola is going up. We're over 1,000 on one of those already, and we have 2 fields worth of canola to harvest, so 2 decent sized fields as well. So hopefully by the time we've got the harvesting on the canola done, that will be ready to sell, and we can actually stock these soybeans for a later date. I only really want to sell one of the 2 crops. I don't really want to kind of split the sales, and I don't want to sell everything. So we'll run alongside the harvester just to finish off this last little bit. There she goes. We need to do some hay at some point as well, so we can start to replenish our hay bales, and we also need to do some silage bales as well. Seeing as we've used up all of our silage, there will come a time in the not too distant future, where we're going to need to refeed our livestock, our cows specifically. I am also wary that we still have not started work on getting any any sugar beets, planted and harvested. That is obviously something that we are going to need to look at. Root crops are going to be needed for our pigs. Of all the animals, they are the ones with the least amount of available food left. They've still got some left in their troughs, and we've got 2 pallets, well, a little under 2 pallets worth of pig food left. There is now a pig silo as a mod, where you can drive a trailer underneath, fill it with pig food, and then just dump that into your trailers, into your feed troughs. But it's not a very cheap way to go. I mean, pig food is expensive as it is, but using a silo over pallets is even more expensive. So the pigs would just be eating up any kind of profit that we'd be looking to make off them, and leave us with very little money at all. They would. I mean, they're producing manure and they're producing slurry, which is great, but we don't have enough of that yet to actually do anything worthwhile. So that's just being slowly stockpiled at the moment. Right, let's drop the header on the trailer. And then we'll move over and start work on our canola crop just over there. It's kind of a shame that there's no direct link between these sets of fields, that we have to drive all the way down the main road. Now, maybe a future update we might get a gate or a pathway if there is a future update to the map. But as things stand right now, obviously we have to drive down to the main road, follow it along, and then cut back across. It's not a great deal of trouble. It's not a huge map, but it would have been nice just to have that sort of break in the hedgeway halfway along. Make it a little bit easier to move the equipment around. Of course, I am going to have to probably drag the trailer out of the way. I get the feeling the header is going to be wedged on there again. This is a problem with the Fendt pack. I don't understand what it is. I don't understand why it's more of an issue on this than any other. Because these are essentially identical to the Masseys. They're just reskinned versions of the Masseys, slightly changed. But it's pretty much just a different paint job to the 2 Massey harvesters, and same with the headers. And the trailer is just the standard trailer that you get in game. But the header always catches more with the Fendt pack than the Massey pack. It just seems to sit that little bit lower to the ground, the Fendt harvester. I don't know why. So when you pick the header up, it's not up as high in the air, so it catches on the trailer. When you try and pull away, it just stays. Oops, there's our entrance there. It just stays with the with the trailer, and you have to drag the trailer out of the way. Like I say, I don't understand what it is that's causing that issue, more so on the Fendts than the Massey Fergusons, because they are, as I said, essentially identical. Okay, so we'll drop that there. Let's turn the indicators off, and the beacons. Now, one thing a lot of people have been asking, and it's something I've been hoping for as well, is a way to remove bushes and things like that from the ground when you plough. Lossberg is a map that has great potential for combining fields, but you have so much scenery that just kind of gets in the way when you're trying to... see, we're stuck. Look, it's just... it keeps catching, and I don't know why it's only... we'll just go over the trailer. It's a little bit scruffy, but I don't want to have to bring a tractor all the way up here just for, you know, a 2-second job of moving that trailer. So we'll have to rethink that in the future, but we'll get this guy started on this field. And see, look, there's a gap. Let's go through there. There's a gap that we could actually make our way through, but we don't have that on the other side of the field. Okay, so he's off and running. Where's our mini? Here it is. Our little 3. Is it 313? Yeah, 313. Our pigs aren't looking too messy at the moment. How much pig food do we have left in our trough? Ooh, they are getting low. Alright. Let's, oh yeah, I remember now, this is at the wrong... screw it, we'll sell it. We don't need it. We don't need 2 of those bucket clamps. We've got a lot of equipment, as you can see. Let's see which one's the one the most money. That one. We'll sell that one. I think that's going to be the one. Oh, it's the one on the shelf. Okay. Before we go anywhere and do the spraying, we'll deal with those last couple of pallets of pig food. At least give us an extra couple of days worth of food. Come on. Why aren't you connecting? Oh, it's glitched, isn't it? No, there we go. We got him. So the more eagle-eyed of you will have spotted that, in keeping with the green machine theme, my farmer wears green overalls. This is the same for Sandy Bay. In keeping with the blue New Holland theme, my farmer on that farm wears blue New Holland overalls, or New Holland inspired overalls, and on American Outback he will primarily be working with case equipment, so he'll be wearing red overalls. Just as the farmer on Massey Manor, again working primarily with red equipment, is wearing red overalls. So that's given us a little bit of extra food. We've got just under 3 days worth of food by the look of it. Just over 3 days of straw. Water will need a top up, but that's fine. We need to top up the productivity, or the cleanliness for the cows. They're at 0%. That's not good. Okay, there we go. Forks are dropped off. Let's get our spreader. We should have enough to do the 2 fields there. We are going to need to do the other ones as well, but I'm hoping that that's going to be enough, so we'll just drive off, and we can always come back after these 2 fields are done if necessary. So we'll get this guy lined up. We can hand this job off over to him. There we go. And now if we take our trailer over to our canola, we can look at unloading and taking over the harvester. A little bit awkward, that junction. In terms of future plans, we don't have... I've gone past my entrance, haven't I? We don't have a mass amount of plans for the future in terms of expansion as yet. I would like to add, an extra couple of fields. I'd like to try and look at adding field 35 down in the bottom left corner of the map. Not entirely sure how much that field's going to cost me. It's going to be a couple $100,000 easy. I just don't know if we have the funds available to us for that at the moment. Field 25 is another optional one. That could be quite good for doing root crops. It's got a long straight field. And then obviously we've got fields 24 and 23. There are also options as well. I want to try and keep to the easier to work fields. And we've got field 1 as well, although there is that slant as it follows the road. We'll readdress once we've made a bit more money. So I'll take over into this pass. There we go. I must confess, the first time I actually harvested canola in Farming Sim 17 was using one of these combines, and I didn't realise what these cutting plates were on the edges of the header that pop up specifically for canola, because that was something new, and so I just assumed that they were always there on these headers. And when I went to harvest a different crop and they weren't there, I was like, my header's broken. I thought there was something wrong with my header. I thought the mod had glitched and wasn't working properly. I didn't realise what these actual cutting plates at the end were. The first time I saw them, I just thought they were part of the header, because I hadn't harvested canola with any other harvester. So my first canola harvesting experience on Farming Sim 17 was actually using this particular setup on Goldcrest. And of course now I know exactly what they are, and I like to see them pop up, but I don't panic if they're not there. Interestingly enough as well, they will stay there once I've finished harvesting and I put the combine on the header on a trailer. They'll stay there when it's on the trailer. It's only if I then start harvesting something else. Oh, we are full. I was just looking to see my total and it popped up before I even noticed. Plus our other worker is blocked by a hedge. Let's raise that all the way up. Try and prevent that from happening again. There we go. Yeah, so that'll stay. You know, those cutting plates will stay on the header until I either start harvesting another crop or I quit out of the map and then reload back in which case they'll disappear. They will stay on that trailer. Oh, we're right on the edge of the crop field there. I think again we're looking at maybe around 30,000 litres of canola as a total harvest amount. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but it's not going to be a stellar amount. That is kind of the problem with these smaller maps, is that it can be quite hard to actually stockpile your crop and sell in in large volume. You have to do either a lot of fields or a lot of smaller harvests to actually be able to stockpile up a particular grain, depending on what it is that you're trying to harvest. Obviously, I mean, wheat and barley have a much higher yield, but obviously a much lower value to kind of offset that. I do like watching the grain getting fed along the auger on the header there into the harvester itself. There's something almost therapeutic about it in some respects. It's very relaxing, I find. Same from this angle as well. I do like watching it all getting sort of shoveled in there. Oh, we went very wonky there, didn't we? That's what happens when I go in cab. You try and follow what you think is a straightish line, but you have no reference points and you end up going all over the place. It doesn't take much to get yourself offline, and then once you do go offline, it's almost impossible to recover, because you end up overcorrecting or undercorrecting. That looks like our fertilising is done. And we're not far off being done with this field either. Or this episode, ironically. So, this seems like a good place to kind of wrap up. In the next episode we'll continue harvesting our canola, and then we'll look to sell. Hopefully the price will have finished fluctuating by that point, and we can always speed up a little bit if necessary to get it to a stable point. And then we'll make a bit of money, and we'll get the process of seeding and second staging our fields started as well. So thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed the episode, please go ahead and drop a like, give a thumbs up. It's always a help. Don't forget to check out my other farms. We've got Sandy Bay and Massey Manor on Culborough Park, and then hopefully by the time you see this, American Outback will be in the works at last as well. and we can actually get that up and running on the channel. So plenty of farming videos for you to watch, and obviously there is also some non-farming content there for you as well. There is my No Man's Sky playlist, there's Prison Architect, there will be the odd episode here and there from Absolute Drift as well, and hopefully the next game that will be going live on the channel will be my playthrough of Lara Croft Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I will be picking up as part of the Easter sale currently going on PSN. So plenty of stuff to watch. You know, if you have joined midway through a series, then you know, please do check out some of the earlier vids as well, to see how it all got started. And any feedback that you want to leave, you know, you can drop comments on the videos. You can send me a message. I do read them. And obviously there is my Facebook page as well. You can get in touch with me there, Jim Bob Plays Games on Facebook. So I'll thank you all again for watching, and I'll catch you back on the farm very soon.